All right. Who is Conor McGregor's biggest threat? Is Jose Aldo a threat to Conor McGregor? Yeah, I think so. I think he is. How could he beat Conor? Knock out Conor. That's how Jose Aldo can beat him. He's not going to win a decision because he's not going to last that long. In my opinion, I don't think that he would. But he needs to tap into that explosive, crazy, I shouldn't say crazy, but no, a little crazy. He's going to have to really get creative and throw some violent, unexpected, flying knees, kicks. Maybe go watch some Mariusz Sarumska's highlights. Something that Conor just wouldn't see coming. I mean, because Conor keeps his hands down. So basically, if he doesn't see something coming, if you can get some type of knee, limb flying up that way, spinning up that way, and just crack Conor, this is going to be a wrap, guys. I mean, is that likely to happen? No, it's highly unlikely. What's likely to happen is that Conor is going to TKO him like he's been doing everything else. They're going to trade punches a little bit, and it seems to only take just a few handfuls of strikes and kicks to wear his opponents down. I'm talking about Conor McGregor wearing out his opponents. Okay, now, who is Conor's biggest threat? I believe it's hard to say, but I could see Frank Edgar beating Conor. Now, Frank Edgar, on the other hand, he doesn't really have knockout power. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, this is his downfall. You know, I mean, you don't have to have really heavy hands to be a champion in the UFC. George St. Pierre is proof of that. However, most champions in the UFC hit hard, man. They hit hard. And, you know, Robbie Lawler is a perfect example of that. If you can get your skill level up to equal or just about equal, this right here, the hard-hitting hands, is what is going to push you over the top, okay? Because when everything is equal, skill set-wise, and one guy can just wham. I mean, you know, how many times have we seen this? I mean, you know, Fedor had all the skills in the world, and his skills won in many fights. But what saved him in many fights was his knockout power, man. The guy could just knock you out. And, you know, some fights he didn't need that knockout power. He just would win and dominate. Other fights he'd be losing, and what would save him? That hard-hitting power. And, man, there's just one thing that there's really no replacement for. I mean, I shouldn't say replacement for, but it's not something that you can really teach or learn. And I think that's what it's going to take Conor McGregor out. Now, that being said, if I were to try and find a way, if I was Frankie Edgar's coach, and I was going to say, man, what my strategy would be to do is pretty much try and win a 5-round fight. And how I would want to do that is avoid stand-up, work on footwork, be very evasive. I mean, I guess you could even say stall. And I don't know, I'm not saying I would tell him to do this because I don't like this type of fighting. But basically be very evasive. Like Carlos Condit and Nick Diaz. I mean, this is what it would take for him to win. Turn a 5-round fight basically into like a 2.5-round fight, because 2.5 rounds were spent Conor McGregor just running after him. And if 2.5 rounds of stand-up with Conor McGregor, Frankie's not going to last that long. So he needs to take Conor down. Spend as much time on the ground and, you know, and basically avoid stand-up. I mean, is that possible that that's going to happen, that Frankie would win? I highly doubt it. Oh, another way would be to submit Conor. You know, maybe a really good submission expert could be Conor. I could see that, because he doesn't seem like he's that difficult to take down. Although not too many people have taken Conor down, but you know, if someone could get him on the ground, I could see him getting submitted. Although he has not been submitted in a long time, at least in the UFC or anything. So beating Conor McGregor is not easy. But I guess I could say that Frankie Edgar probably is his biggest threat. Frankie's been in there, man, 2 fights with Benson Henderson. He's been in there. Yeah, a win over BJ Penn back in 2010. He's got, you know, beat Uriah Faber. He's got some big wins. And, I mean, he almost beat Jose Aldo. So, he's probably a bigger threat than Jose Aldo. But man, I can't really see either one of them winning. I just don't see it happen. I see Frankie lasting 5 rounds. I see that happening more than Jose, because Frankie could possibly just out wrestle, and get the win, maybe 3 rounds to 2. You know what I mean? Just barely win a decision if he could last. Basically, he would just have to survive and maybe out wrestle Conor for about half the time, and then just do well with the stand up. And Frankie has good stand up, but basically, you just have to survive and just barely win. Do I think he would dominate Conor for 5 rounds? Absolutely not. I don't see that happening. So anyway, that's who's Conor's biggest threat. Oh, Conor's biggest threat is himself. If he gets injured, he doesn't train properly, doesn't keep his head on straight, gets his head too big, which I don't think is going to happen. I mean, I think this last fight with Chad Mendes would be a little bit of an eye-opener. And what's funny is people talk about, oh man, what an eye-opener. Chad only lasted, what, 1.5 rounds? I mean, we shouldn't say lasted. Chad won that first round. He did, but Chad Mendes went all out, guys. He went all out, man. He gave everything he had to win that 1 round. And did he ever have Conor in any serious trouble? No. I mean, Conor never was close to getting knocked out, never looked winded. I mean, he did get that bad cut. I guess that counts. So, you know, he did really well, as he should, though. He's not ranked number 2 in the world, higher than anybody else that Conor's fought. He should do better than they have done. And, yeah, I mean, and I expect Jose Aldo to do even better than Chad Mendes, as he should. And Frankie, you know, I don't know. I have to see with Frankie, but, man, I just don't really see, I don't know. If Frankie could do what he did against Cub Swanson to Conor, and hey, it's possible, man, because, you know, Cub Swanson, he's a great striker. But again, no, man, Cub Swanson is not Conor McGregor. So, but these two guys, Frankie Edgar and Jose Aldo, are a big threat to, I wouldn't say a big threat, but they are a threat to Conor McGregor. And I do believe if Jose were to get very creative, man, just really throw some hard-hitting, crazy strikes, I believe he could knock Conor out. Because like I said, Conor keeps his hands down. He's probably not going to do that. He's just going to go in there with his fundamentals. But Conor McGregor is kind of an offbeat, you know, different type of fighter. So Jose needs to come out, you know, counteract that with some crazy offbeat strikes. I mean, literally come out with new strikes and things that you know, some flying kicks and things that we've never seen him do before, that Conor's never seen him do before. And that's what Jose needs to do. And just, you know, have some fun with it too, man. Have some fun. Because if he plays it safe, he's going to lose. I'll see you guys later.